Well, guys, this market is something else at this point. It flew today. Like, it didn't just rebound, it rebounded big time, which just goes to show that the panic was just widespread, and it was really not that warranted, honestly. But we'll get into that plenty and talk about what that might look like in the future. We get a possible pretty decent SBC leak as well to go and look at, depending on the stats that this card is going to get. It is a pretty hyped up player, though. We got more Team 2 leaks for ratings reload, Team of the Week leaks as well. They do look pretty good. If you guys would like to buy coins, you can go to MMOXP.com. There will be a link in the top of the description. They're the safest and the cheapest option, and you can use my code JFC at checkout for an 8% discount. A couple of investment things as well that I think will be interesting, and I have to rant about something that is just so dumb. Some of the Gauntlet stuff is so dumb, but it's not the Gauntlet's fault. It's EA's fault. So we'll talk about that, and thank you guys for being here and watching, of course. We got like 350 likes yesterday. My God. I mean, thank you. Let's start off here with this evolution that came out, guys. You know, I remember back when evolutions gave stat upgrades. You know, that was a good time. That was a good time when Nuno Tavares example here would not go from 70 defending to 71 defending, and stats were not maxed out at things like, for example, 83 interceptions. This is a ridiculously bad Evo. Like, who's making this one? I mean, I know you can do it twice. I know you can give Ait Nuri 77 defending to 78 defending with some more curve and stuff, right? But what the hell is this? I mean, this is like so much worse than it needs to be. You can make this a lot better and have it not be overpowered at all. I know you don't want to have crazy overpowered stuff right now. That's totally understandable. We all get that. But this is ridiculous. They can make that so much better and have it not be that big of a deal. And I don't know why they're not doing that. Like, the ball distributor and striker debut are better than like that one. You know, it's not great, but it's better. And did they deem that these ones were like too good or something? Because then they made fullback force worse than those other. I mean, I don't know. I don't know what the plan is here. It is funny seeing EA talk to us prior to the game coming out to get you to buy it, and they announced good communication stuff, and they have had more communication in terms of the gameplay stuff a lot. The content stuff, not so much so far, and I was hoping to see some more content talk. FUT Economist coming on more. Maybe we'll see that at some point, but I haven't seen it yet, and isn't that interesting? Also, I mean, Gauntlet, guys, you know, it's going on right now, right? You guys know, this is a random side note, okay? This is what I want to rant about right now, because you guys know that I've always hated a lot of the entry stuff, limited entries every day, come back, games refresh tomorrow, you got to come back tomorrow, can't play them all today type system that's in every mode, everywhere, all the time now. You just can't escape it. They set these game modes up to be that way so that you have to come back day after day, log in each and every day. They can tell their shareholders that there were X amount of people that logged on every single day because they want to boost their numbers up at your and our inconvenience. So if they're going to make the system be this way, that's really inconvenient, can it at least work? I'm just asking for it to work at least, because I got royally shafted today by this damn Gauntlet system. And it's the same way with tournaments as well. That shafts people over too when it gets to content time and the entries refresh. So bear with me while I explain this. So I was trying to get my Gauntlet games in prior to content time today. I got 4 of the 6 in. There's 2 entries now for this Gauntlet, right, per day. So I won the first one, and I was able to get Diouf and stuff. Cool. You know, we got perfect round 1. In the second entry of the Gauntlet I won the first game. It was like 15 minutes before content. I said, okay, I'll just wait till content turns. I don't want to be in a game when content turns. And it refreshes the entries, right? Because who knows what the fuck is going to happen when you're in a game and it refreshes. Is it going to count at all? It might just vanish into thin air because the system sucks. So I waited until content time refreshed, and I thought, okay, I won round 1 of the Gauntlet. Maybe when it refreshes, I'll just lose that first game, and I'll start in round 2 of one of my entries. Does that make sense? And that's exactly what happened. When I clicked on Ultimate Gauntlet 2 after content refresh, it showed me at like the second round. So I thought, okay, that's fine. I lost a game, but whatever, who cares? I play the next 2, able to win both of them, right? Round 2 and 3 of what I thought was my first entry in the Gauntlet. I finished those 2 games, and all of a sudden, I had no more entries left. So I have played, in total, I have played 6 Gauntlet games. I've luckily won all 6 to help with this, but I've played 6 Gauntlet games. According to EA, it thinks I have played 12. All of a sudden, I lost all of my entries for the day today. So it literally, EA thinks, the system thinks, I've played double the amount of games that I actually have. I played 2 Gauntlet games today, and it said, oops, your entries are up. I'm sorry, what? The system's already so inconvenient for people that, like, have lives and stuff, and then it still doesn't even work properly. There are so many bugs when it comes to the entries in tournaments and entries in Gauntlet. When it comes to content time and when it refreshes, it is madness. lightning. I knew that. I still waited. I didn't play any games around content time. I guess 20 minutes before content, and I was not in a game during content time because we know the shit's gonna be all crazy if that happens. So the EA knows how much is revolved around content time refreshing, entries refreshing, that bullshit, and it's not tested and they don't give a shit. And it goes to the bugs too. There are so many bugs right now in the menus and stuff. I just, I'm on PC, so I'm lucky in that it's actually way smoother for me, but console menus, not smooth. They suck. There's glitches. It's ridiculous. But okay, we're going to talk about the market in a second here and talk about the rebound that happened today. But we did get the premium gold pack and this random challenge today. Now, it was not very completed because it's just such a bad pack. People don't really care. But I tweeted something out saying like, hey, it's not often we get a pack that has consumable supply in it. Today was that day. They did drop a little bit. It wasn't that much though. But I want to say for trading in the future, pretty much no matter what, the best day to buy consumables and chem styles, managers and stuff is going to be not on play versus AI and competitive here. It's Rivals. So Rivals Div 3 and up, you get tradable mega packs. So there's gonna be a lot of chem styles in here now, especially that we are getting, let's actually get the upgrade. Now that we're getting further into the year, more people are going to be up in Division 3 and higher. There's mega packs now for all three, or technically it's 4 divisions because Elite Division 2, I think Elite Division gets a mega pack as well, right? I want to say yes, it does. Okay, so yeah, you get 4 different divisions have mega packs, so that's going to be all year the best time to buy pretty much, unless somehow a store pack drops with them in it, which it almost never does anymore. So it's challenge SBCs and then these Rivals rewards, and that's like it. Squad Battles rewards really doesn't have any either. It has the untradeable consumable packs, but that doesn't really do a whole lot. So Rivals rewards obviously is going to be tomorrow, but if you guys want a really easy way to make coins every single week, you have unlimited number that you can buy. They don't hog up your trade pile, whatever. Go and buy Hunters, Engines, Hawks, Anchors, whatever. Shadows right now aren't really up at all, but are down. Sorry, they're like 4.8 right now. Oh no, they're actually up to like basically 5K now, so they're not really down, obviously, you can see. But I guarantee you, if you do this every week, you'll be a millionaire in like a month. It's guaranteed. It's the easiest thing to buy. But okay, because the market's like the main talking point of the video, we're kind of going to start here and then go to leaks and news after. We'll do it a little bit backwards today, but the market is flying right now. Like, we're talking big time rises. Remember we talked about Diani yesterday? Here's just one example. This whole page here is up a huge amount, but Diani's 77.5. Remember we talked about buying her at like 61,000? Well, I didn't talk about buying her actually. I just said I'm surprised the prices are this low right now, and she's back up 16,000 coins in one day. 62,000. The graphs right now on cards look all of them look like this. You've got a massive 30% dip in here, and now we're back up to 78K. You're back to just like a little bit of normal panic, right? A little bit of a normal crash from the high 80s to the high 70s. Like, that's a normal dip, not the craziness we've been seeing. And I saw Yokeresh is up the same amount. Claudia Pina's up 10K. She's up 25% from 30K to 43. Patrick was 65. She's now 84. I just saw her at 65 last night. 66 right here. And the reason this is happening now is that there was actual like correcting that needed to be happening here, right? There was correcting last night that needed to be happening, and the day before that too. It's kind of like a 2-day crash, right? There was correcting that needed to be happening, but it was obviously so exacerbated by everything you see on Twitter. Everyone just panicking about everything, right? We've talked about how social media laden people are now when it comes to the market, that everyone's seeing tweets and videos about how the market is dying. Oh my God, can't believe it. And they sell into it, and then it just compounds on the problem. So I wish I told you guys last night to go out and buy your teams like right this second. I didn't think it was going to go down anymore, but I just didn't tell you to really go out and buy. I only bought one card myself, and it was Guti. I went out and bought Guti because I wanted to buy him for a combined like SBC selling price because of that hero pick, and then combining with the selling last night, Gucci was down at 65. I bought him for 65K, and you can't even see it here, but I bought him for 65K, and he went up actually quite a bit. He was up in the mid 80s, now down to 78. But the lesson we can take from this is that this market is much more like the older markets. There is room for big rebounds, and there's always room for rebounding in any kind of open market like this. But in the past couple of years, gold cards go on death spirals, and it's over. Like, it's basically a finished done deal when you see a Claudia Pina go from 60K to 30K. Like, there's no real rebounding from any of that. So I'm at 45 right now. Let's go to 50 today. And that's almost, I mean, that's a huge rebound. So what we need to learn from this is that it used to be the Mad HD Gamer, the cliche of like, once Mad HD Gamer makes his market crash video, the market crashes because the casuals then like learn about it. Now everybody's on Twitter and other social medias, right? So everyone sees everything all the time. Once there's any panic going on, people sell into the panic. And it's just hilarious seeing everybody go, oh wait, wait, why are we selling again? And then we just buy. And everybody just buys again because it's like, yeah, I do need cards for rivals, and I do need gauntlet cards, and I do need, yeah, why did we sell again? Why was Peanut 28k? I don't know. And general market tip here once again, the cards that are really rising right now are the rarer cards. Aitana Bonmati, right? You need a lot of coins to get a card like this, but 490, do you know what she was last night? I saw her at 400k pretty much flat, up to 490. Then down here, for example, let's find a card that would work for this example. Desiree Douay, 15k. I think he's up like a couple thousand, maybe. Let's see. Yep, 1225 right there. So now this card's rebounding, but not as much, obviously, because there's just so much supply of a card like this at all times. So this is why you always want to buy the rarer cards. The rarer cards are always going to be your friend throughout the entire year. The rarer cards will always be your friend. They're going to not go down as much. They're going to rise a lot when the market goes up and does well. I say it all the time, but I want to reiterate that because if you guys did buy rarer cards throughout all this, you're actually doing really well. And if you made coins throughout this process or even just didn't lose that much, you are looking so good right now because so many people went out and just sold their Claudia Pina at 30k and are gonna buy back like tomorrow or today at 45k, and it's like, oops, 15k vanished now. That's on one card. 30k another card, 20k here, 30k here. Like people lost 100k on just panic selling basically. If you guys didn't do that, your buying power is so much higher now. We talk about that a lot on this channel, that a lot of just maintaining a really good coin balance is actually simply just selling your team when you should and buying them when you should. If you don't want to take time to learn trading and stuff like that, you don't need to actually just continually earn a nice coin balance or keep your coin balance high and higher than some of the rest because you're just buying and selling at right times. But I bring up fodder here because today should be the day of the new hero pack. It's a max 87 hero pack, so there's a couple more good cards in here like Yaya and J. Roberto's in there, I think, and a couple other guys too. Fodder's about where it was yesterday. 87s are actually up a little less than 1,000 from where they were yesterday. If I had to guess, I would assume some people in the Discord are saying 87s, go out and buy them. 86s too are a few hundred up right now. I think there's some hype there. I think the best cards with the best chance to rise today are the 85s and 86s, I think. If they drop an 87 rated squad, I think 88s will rise because of the fact that 87s are so close to the 88s here. But I think the safest route is going to go with 85s, 86s. And the highest upside is 85s because there's a lot of room here between these two. And they are up a little right now. You know, I prefer to buy 85s when they're like the 3,000 range or a little bit less than that. I bought those when we club stocked like a week ago or something like that. They were like 27 or 2,800, 1,000 less. But right now, I think for a little one-day investment, I don't hate trying to take your chance on some nice profit there. You go to 4,500 or something. Yes, 84s, if they're not needed like at all for this SBC today, they're kind of slowly trickling down back towards that 1,000 coin mark. When 84s ever get to that point, go out and buy them. They were 800 coins at one point this year, and if you waited, you doubled your money. That's a guarantee safe buy. Just wait it out, you know. But okay, let's go look at some of the leaks now. We got Jack Grealish coming as a World Tour SBC, so kind of a pretty decently hyped up player here that definitely has the potential to do some more damage to the attacker market like the Arda Güler did. If it's going to be a cam or a winger or whatever he's going to be, if technical plus, like if he actually does have that good of a card, which I don't think he's going to, but if he is good, just in general, it should do some damage. Actually, we saw Güler do some damage. One of those things too where SBCs last year didn't do quite as much damage because cards were so cheap as is. This year though, there's more people that are bought into market cards than I think the past couple years, I want to say. So if a card like this comes out, it actually will damage some cams, just like Arda Güler did if he is a cam and is good. You know, there's a lot of stipulations there. But next up here, Mo Salah is confirmed to be in the team of the week, and we have actually pretty much the whole team of the week leaked, and it's pretty good. It's not maybe as insane as it could have been, but it's pretty good. So we'll go look at that in one sec, but Salah is in it. Let's actually show you it right now. We might as well. Stats are all predictions on these cards, by the way. But yeah, quite a few high-rated cards in here. We got Buell, Rodrigo makes it in, Cody Gakpo makes it in. Aubameyang is featured, by the way. That's been leaked. He's the featured team of the week. It's funny, he scored 4 goals, but got sent off in the game, and they gave him team of the week, which is kind of funny. Still deserves it, obviously, but has there ever been in FIFA history a player that is in the team of the week that received a red card in that game? I bet that's never happened. I think it's almost impossible to do without doing this, without scoring 4. Ruben Neves in there. Riyad Mahrez makes it in. Walsh with pinged plus is nice. And then down here, Brooks, I think, is a card people are pretty hyped up for. I don't really know why. I wonder if she's featured or something like that. Nusa makes it in. Lusumi from Bologna down there. And then some more kind of fodder-ish cards here. But definitely an interesting team of the week. I like that team of the week does seem to mean a little bit more. If, you know, the market is a little bit more healthier. But yeah, okay. It's pretty decent. And a few more ratings reload leaks here. Actually, we got Zalbazlai. He makes it in the team, and people were clamoring for him to be a right back now because, yeah, Arnie Slot's playing him at right back sometimes, which is kind of funny. The first cam and right back combination that you might see on a FIFA card this year. And then the other ratings reload leak, I think, is, yes, Lauren James right here. So Lauren James makes it in as well. Stats, obviously, prediction on her, but I don't know how good she is this year considering her agility and balance is quite low, actually. If you guys have used her and you've liked her, let me know. Or if you've not liked her, let me know too. And I thought this tweet was interesting from Robo's FUT here. Kamavinga price comparison between last year and this year. And this card's like the best example to look at this because it's the exact same card besides +1 shooting. So he actually is not the exact same, but it's basically identical cards. And one of them was getting to discard last year and one's still 10K. I think he's like 9.5 right now or something like that. I think a part of this is because Goulet came out and obviously he's a huge link to Goulet. But this does highlight the fact that gold cards are more relevant this year later on. You know, if you actually look at last year's teams, by now the golds were like starting to get phased out for pretty crazy Evo chains and lower tier promo cards. And last year's the most extreme year to talk about the power curve. So is it worth really highlighting that as an example? Maybe not, because there's no way it wasn't going to be slower than last year. But I'm interested to see just how long we go on in the year where golds are like, you know, hanging around still, right? Here's one from a few days ago. Lorente price comparison, 3,000 coins last year, 70K this year, +1 enhanced go. It gets a +1, but the stats here, he's got +1 dribbling. He goes -1 defending and +1 physical. It's like the same card basically. And the hand skill obviously helps his price, of course, but 70,000 coin difference basically is pretty ridiculous. And I think Lorente post crash is like 57 or something. I think I just saw him at. Let me double check that. He's like close to 60, right? 53. Okay. So 53K compared to what last year would have been like 2,000 coins right now is a pretty stark difference. So, you know, what do you think about that? Do you guys like that? Do you not like it's more expensive? I think it's nice to see these cards lasting a bit longer and being more meaningful. It's also nice that golds are just better in game than they were last year. You can just do more things with lower rated golds right now, like a base Claudia Pina being this good. I don't think last year, just using last year as an example, probably could have happened, you know, because the game's more responsive dribbling wise, the fidget spin meta, quote unquote. It does help these gold cards though. I think shooting isn't really quite as important, you know, you can use the low 80s shooting and be successful, but I do want to give EA the credit in that sense that you can use these lower gold cards and have them be good, at least better than the last couple years, I want to say. So I want to be fair to them, even though that's how it should be, right? It should be that way. Okay, let's read some of your comments now. We got Wigs13. Yesterday in the Diouf Gauntlet, I had the heaviest gameplay I've ever had in 15 years of FIFA. It honestly felt like my opponent had hacks and turned my sliders down or something. You know what's funny is that in that exact time frame, like that Gauntlet trio of games for me was so heavy. It was crazy. I think this year, unfortunately, because the game is more responsive, we're going to feel when it's heavier. You know, when the game is a little slower, it masks a bit when there is delay. Not this year to me. I was playing a different game, really, the last time I played compared to, like, even 2 days ago. 2 days ago, my gameplay was very fluent and it felt good. When I played yesterday in that Gauntlet, it was unbelievably heavy. Like, I could not believe how heavy it felt. But I think, unfortunately, we are going to notice that now. We're going to notice that more when EA's engine sucks massive balls. We're going to notice it more because the game is more responsive when it's working, as it should be, but it doesn't do that all the time because welcome to a spaghetti-coated mess. We got Hazan Azizu, I believe. He says, I think you are missing the point with why we are complaining about the market. It's not because of how affordable stuff is. Obviously, that's a good thing. However, you can barely hold a card without its crashing in price after 1 day. It's so frustrating to stress over a card's price falling 30% for a day, and you always need to think when to sell it, not to lose coins. Should not be this way. So I agree in the sense that it's really nice to have some like time with a card and have it retain its value, right? But you know what's funny is that I'm actually going to stick up for EA here, believe it or not. Like, EA can't control when the market just panics like this. They didn't really drop much. Nothing really dropped that much. The rewards, I think, are like the market's being corrected a bit from the rewards. It's coming to light more. The buying power is just a lot lower. But then obviously yesterday was over the top panic from people. Like, they can't control when Claudia Pina goes to 30K based off clearly nothing, right? It was just pure panic to a certain degree of a lot of this crashing. So it is a free market to a certain extent, obviously, but a lot of it is free. And sometimes EA aren't going to know for sure when panic starts. And this year, more than the last couple of years, cards have retained their value. You could buy a gold Lorente a week ago, and it's actually doing way better, obviously, than it would have last year, 2 years ago. Cards are still dropping, but we also need to remember that when you lose coins like this, you're not losing buying power unless your specific card went down. So, for example, what really hurts is when a card like a Goulet SBC comes out, and then cams drop, right? right? And then you lose, say, 15 or 20K or 30K on your cam that you have. That's when it sucks, because then the market doesn't go down with it. Your cam drops. Or a card you have is getting a special card. It's cheaper. Your card drops. When the whole market drops like this, your buying power doesn't move. On 98% of cards that are out, like, your buying power stays the exact same. So it's not the end of the world when you lose some coins on cards. You know, you don't have to stress all the time about a card dropping and you losing coins, because, like, a lot of the time you're actually not losing any buying power. And also, to a certain degree too, when you have a market, you kind of have to pay attention to it. It's just a reflection on supply and demand and human psychology, basically, is what, you know, the market is. That's an oversimplification, but for there to be a market, you have to kind of pay attention to it. If you have cards that are in there, you don't really have a choice. And, you know, last year and the year before that was so bad with this. I mean, it was so bad. And I think that is partly why a lot of the casuals left, because they're not thinking about that in that way. Like, oh, my buying power is the same actually, but I'm losing coins. Like, fuck that, I'm losing coins, I'm out. So it is better this year, but I do think that sometimes people do get, like, too frustrated with losing some coins. I think where there is criticism for EA, though, is once again the store pack angle. When if they're going to drop tradable store packs like they did, that was really a lot of the reason why this market went down initially, right? It was actually just EA dropping something. Like, it wasn't just a promo that came out that we expected the market to drop at a usual rate. Like, they just dropped a pick and the supply went insane overnight. So to me, the criticism actually is, like, EA and their store packs really affect things a lot, and they can't help themselves. Like, there's gonna be a time again this year where a store pack is going to crash the market badly, and we can't really prepare for that. You know, you don't really know unless you have a leak about something. You can't really prepare for that. So there's no real, like, skill gap to the market in that way, when EA can just drop something and boom, you're fucked. You know, that's what I think sucks, because we saw this crash coming. You know, we did see it happening, and we did talk about selling before this weekend, like, a lot. So if you want to say just get good at the market, bro, skill gap, like, I agree to a degree, I agree with you, but they can just drop sack on you. EA can just drop sack and the crash happens, and it's like you couldn't have seen it coming, just based off of a store pack. But yeah, what do you guys think? Of course, thank you all for watching and being here. I love you, and I will see you.